We are Lena and Marci Morris. We've been at Maple City Chapel. It will be 5 years this Christmas time that we have been here, and have been serving in Maple City Kids for a couple of those years.
I love being on the front line where the action's at, and the action is where kids are meeting Jesus. And for me, maybe that's not in the nursery. That's a little bit more in the formative ages and like the 5th and 6th graders. We call them 56ers. That's the front line of where Jesus is really meeting kids. I reflect back to my growing up and how pivotal a time that was for me. And so I just wanted to jump in and be on the front line and meet Jesus with kids.
I started serving in the nursery at Maple City Kids about 2 years ago. I remember what it was like being a young mom and really needing a break now and then and really wanting to be a part of the worship service uninterrupted. So I jumped in and was able to be a part of being the arms and feet of Jesus to sweet babies, but also allowing parents to have that uninterrupted time in the worship service.
I've really grown, I think, in empathy for kids. And I see the pressures that the kids are coming in, and like these are pressures that I don't believe our Creator really built us to handle. The emotional pressures on a kid today are so much greater than 40 years ago when I was a kid. And I've really gotten empathy for them. It's really easy to be the old guy who is just kind of sarcastic and ornery about them being on the phones all the time. But the phone, the media, it is really hard pressures. Pressures I grew up with as a kid were like we had to go out and pick up rocks all day in the field or farm tobacco or live without air conditioning. Those were hard physical things, and some of our bodies are like built to handle those. But I don't think kids are built to handle the emotional pressures that they hear of the constant, well, you need more friends. You got to be better at sports. You need to look better than what you look. Like the constant mirror that they are living in is really heavy duty pressure. Being a part of the 56ers, I've been able to like walk through and teaching these different lessons and hearing the perspective of how they are hearing Jesus' parables and the pain points that they find in the parables. They're way different than the pain points that I would have experienced. It's just huge learning for me to see how culture has shifted and changed and how Jesus is still 100% relevant to the emotional pains that they're facing today, even though they're significantly different than the physical pains that I may have felt as a kid.
So I actually started serving in a nursery a few years ago when one of our grandchildren was having a huge problem going to nursery and letting go of mom and dad. So I thought I can jump in here and be helpful and be a familiar face. We've now gone through 2 grandchildren in the nursery, and getting to see them and knowing that they are going to have a great day, and then hearing comments from other nursery workers when I'm not in there of, wow, those kids have really settled down and they love being in nursery now. That's exciting to my heart, and knowing that they know it's a safe place, they know they're being cared for, they're being loved well.
So we had a 5th and 6th grade party, and this party happened to be at our house this year. There was a really fun celebration. There are a lot of kids there. And there's one kid in particular who's been really withdrawn. And I don't know all of this child's story, but I can see there's a lot of pain in their story. And this withdrawnness has been holding back in conversation, holding back from really engaging other people, and especially us as adults. I saw some like hesitation and fear of us as adults. But at this party, which was kind of the culmination of all the years of events, this child just ran up to me and gave me a hug. And it's like, wow, maybe we broke through not only some spiritual barriers, but some emotional barriers, and we built trust. And that that moment in the culmination of the year and the culmination of this one kid giving me a hug really brought it all together. I keep serving because I love seeing the change in development. This past spring, leading up to Easter, which is like, in my view, the pinnacle of the Christian experience is the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. We're leading up to that. And I'm asking 5th and 6th graders some questions of, hey, what are you looking forward to this Easter season? And what are you looking forward to that God's going to do in your life? And I would hear stories of like, oh, well, we're going to Myrtle Beach for spring break, or yeah, we're gonna have a fun time at Grandma and Grandpa's house because like they put out all these gifts and we gotta go find them in the yard. I'm like, oh, that's not the answer I want. I keep pressing into them, saying, okay, let's talk about from the spiritual level. Like, what are you looking forward to and celebrating about Jesus this season? And I just get shrugged shoulders and idle nose. And those can become discouraging times. But we really just leaned and pressed into teaching the lessons. And I co-teach with Dean, and Dean and I are leaning into the salvation message. We're building these human bridges in class and showing the kids that Jesus is the bridge that made the way. And we're going outside and we're digging things and burying them to do object lessons. And we're throwing everything we have at it. And we just keep getting some shrugged shoulders and some idle nose for a while. And I was at home and I was praying for these kids. And it was the Holy Spirit just came to me and said, Len, the work of salvation isn't your teaching. The work of salvation is my work of the Holy Spirit. And I learned a lot about myself at that moment. And I learned a lot about God at that moment. And then a few weeks later, it was several weeks after Easter, we were still leaning into teaching this salvation message. And it was just one morning right here in this room where we're at right now, in the 56er room. It was like the Holy Spirit came that morning. And these kids went from shrugged shoulders to every single kid in the class volunteered and wanted to pray. And every kid prayed and was giving thanks to God for being in their heart and in their life and giving them the message of salvation. It was like, wow, did I learn a lot. So that was a frontline moment of being right where Jesus is at with some 5th and 6th grade boys and girls. And I don't think there's anything that would keep me from coming back and being a part of that.
I keep serving because that's what we're called to do. Jesus asked that we continue to be a vessel for him to show others the way. And it's important to my own faith. It's important to the faith of the little ones that we touch and hold. It's what we're called to do.
You know, for that person who's thinking about like, I feel like I probably should serve, but I don't know how. Like the organizational systems are so good that you don't have to worry about a lot of that. You can just slide right in. Someone essentially takes you by the hand and helps you to serve. The serving is easy here.
And I would add, you're never on your own. You're not just thrown into a room full of children and they're looking at you to do tricks or stand on your head. There's always other adults, other teenagers that have been a part of the thing in that classroom and can help out too.
So we have 6 grandchildren, right?
We do.
And one of the fun things is 4 of those grandkids come here every Sunday. Mm-hmm. Another 2 of them attend another church. But when we have the other 2 from the other church, they are so excited to come to the children's ministry here.
They are. They comment frequently about loving to come to Nana and Paps's church because they get to hear really fun Bible stories. And they can reiterate those to us on the way home. So we know that they are focused and that they enjoy that. One of their great fun things this summer was receiving a birthday card from Maple City Kids Ministry. They both have July birthdays, and they were so excited to have that postcard and say, next time we come to your church, we get to pick out a prize. So that's been fun for them.
I walk to church on Sunday morning, so if you see a guy in an orange jacket, don't hit him on the way here. And a couple of times our grandkids have wanted to walk with me. It's about 2 miles. It's not too bad. And they wanted to walk with me. And I considered it a win. I only had to carry them about a quarter of the way. And they just have so much fun and so much joy. They want to be a part of Maple City Kids.